Greetings everyone, and welcome to another Sol at the Movies. I just got back from seeing Ferdinand by Blue Sky Studios, and here are my thoughts on it. So Ferdinand tells the story of a young bull named, Ferdinand, who is a gentle bull who doesn't want to fight, although he was born and raised in a fighting bull yard, which sells bulls to matadors who basically take them to the ring and are killed in the ring. So Ferdinand doesn't want to fight, and after the death of his father, he escapes from the farm, and then he escapes to a little girl named Nina's house, sort of a flower farm, and he lives a peaceful life, but then he accidentally rampages through town and gets taken back to the farm where he was born, and he must learn to be a fighting bull, or else he will be turned into meat, or killed in the ring. So, this plot is, interesting, to say the least. It's not so much that it's bad, I mean, it's standard, sure, but the fact that both options for Ferdinand result in death, I think is kind of funny. Like, normally in these situations, it's more like, either you fight and you win kind of thing, or you don't fight and you die. But this is like, you fight and you die, and you don't fight and you also die, so I think that's pretty funny. Obviously, that's not how the story goes. I'm just saying, the plot itself, I don't really care, to be honest. It's fine, it's serviceable, it's one of those, it would be sort of a fish out of water type story, except the fish was in the water, and then he went out of the water, and then he went back into the water again, so whatever. It's nothing to get pissed off about. The plot is fine, I'll just say that. In terms of the characters, though, Ferdinand, he's just a big, sweet bull. You know, he's like a huge bull, but he's kind and gentle, and he likes flowers and everything like that. What I appreciate about Ferdinand's character is that he is kind, unlike the rest of the bulls who are all, bulls. They like fighting and everything like that. But the thing about Ferdinand is that he's not cowardly or anything like that. He reminds me of Wander from Wander Over Yonder a little bit in terms of his kindness. But the problem I have is that Ferdinand wasn't raised in an environment that would allow him to get that sort of personality. Like, he was raised in a fighting bull farm where all the bulls around him were, fighting and aggressive and everything like that. So where did he learn to be kind and gentle? And you could say, oh, he was born with it, maybe he's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline kind of thing, but I don't know. I just think, like, his environment wouldn't allow him to become something like that, but whatever. It's a tiny thing. Ferdinand is actually okay, to be honest. He's kind and nice, and he's not cowardly. He stands his ground, which is cool. I can appreciate that. And funnily enough, John Cena, who is the voice of Ferdinand, is pretty good, actually. He's not terrible. Most wrestlers who try acting are just usually really bad, but John Cena actually does a pretty good job as Ferdinand. The other characters, I don't remember any of the other bulls' names. There's like Angus is like a Scottish bull, then there's Bones, who's like a thin bull, and then there's, I think his name is Machina, who's like, he's like Terrence, the big surly bird from the Angry Birds movie, but he's a bull in this one, in that he doesn't talk and he's all the time and everything, so, there's, Valiente is sort of like, Ferdinand's rival bull, who he fervently believes that victory in the ring is more important than anything. There's just really stock kind of characters. There's 3 hedgehogs, too, for some reason, Uno, Dos, and Quattro, who I honestly don't know why they're there, and then there's Lupe, the goat. She's supposed to be a calming goat who calms the bulls down, but Jesus Christ is she annoying. She sticks to Ferdinand like gum and she never shuts up, ever. She's like everything I hate about Blue Sky Studio pictures all rolled into one. She's like bug-eyed, her design is really annoying, really ugly, her voice is incredibly irritating, and she never shuts up. So Lupe is probably the worst part of the entire movie. She's what I thought Dave the Dove would be in The Star. In fact, this movie reminds me a lot of The Star. And The Star was better than this movie. But, yeah, I mean, there's some German horses, too, which are pretty dumb. Now, what's good about this movie? Well, it's competently put together. I mean, it's solid enough, it has a distinct through line. It's understandable, the story is simplistic, but it's fine, I guess. Like I said, Ferdinand's okay as a character. It's got some pretty moments, like the environment in the farm is nice. Just little things, nothing serious that makes this movie good, but nothing huge that makes it bad. just sort of standard middle of the road. What makes it bad, though, is that the first half of the movie, I just considered it very boring, just very unengaging, but, it wasn't really pissing me off or anything. It was only after the middle of the movie, where there's a dance scene with all the horses and the bulls, that it went over from being boring to being obnoxious, and then it just didn't stop being obnoxious. It doesn't even have the balls to follow through with its darker elements, which sucks, in my opinion. It was kind of like, oh, you're actually gonna go there. You think it's gonna go the chicken run route, but then it doesn't go the chicken run route, so that's lame, too. I won't spoil it, but I'm just gonna say it's lame. Everything about it is lame. This was an opportunity to really teach people about the inhumanity of bullfighting and how it's cruel to the animals. But they don't teach you shit about bullfighting. They just expect you to know everything. Now, I don't know that much about bullfighting, other than that I'm not really into it. I don't like the idea or anything like that. But they don't explain anything about bullfighting. Like, why does the matador wear those weird clothes? Why are the bulls allowed to be killed in the ring? These sort of things, I don't know. The general movie-going audience probably doesn't know that much about bullfighting, so why didn't they bother educating the audience about bullfighting at all, and why it's bad? They just say, oh, it's bad because Ferdinand is sweet and he shouldn't have to fight. But no, what about the other bulls? Not just these bulls, but bulls everywhere. They still have to fight and be killed in the rings, so why not teach people that bullfighting is bad instead of just, oh, it's bad because Ferdinand is sweet. That kind of thing. That bothers me. And, there's the villain too. I mean, there isn't really a villain, technically. I mean, there sort of is in one of the bullfighters, who I can't for the life of me remember his name right now. El Primero, I think his name is. I might be wrong, but he's like the typical sort of prattish kind of fancy boy matador who wants to find the best bull. He sucks. And everything sucks, to be honest. Like, after it got past the second half, with the dancing horses scene and everything, it just went from being bleh to being obnoxious and intolerable at that point. The last 45 minutes is like nothing but movement and animation and jerkiness, and like they feel like, well, the first half was so boring, now we have to be super loud and irritating and constantly in motion to get your attention. And that's one big thing I don't like about Blue Sky Studios, is they have no concept of subtlety whatsoever. Now, with movies like Hotel Transylvania, the crazy-ass animation works to its credit because the characters are designed in a way that helps them to express these emotions in that animation. Like, they're designed to be crazy and silly and moving all over the place, but Ferdinand isn't like that. It just feels unnatural and stupid, and, alright, so is Ferdinand good? No, not really. I mean, if you're a kid, if you just need something to shut your kid up for an hour and a half or so, it's fine. I mean, there's nothing in it that's offensive, but there's also nothing in it that will teach kids anything. I mean, yeah, they'll be like, oh, don't be mean to the nice guys. But why? Why don't be mean to the nice guys? Because they're nice? No, teach them why. So, I don't know. If I had children, I would let them watch it, but I wouldn't expect them to come away from it, with any mind-blowing epiphanies or anything like that. It's just one of those movies you watch and then you never think about again, like The Star, except even The Star had some good scenes in it, but all the scenes are just lukewarm at best, either really shit or lukewarm. So, it was a crappy movie to end out the year with. I mean, you could do worse, but you could do a hell of a lot better. For sure. They say it's based on a book that touched millions of lives, but I'm serious, I've never heard of this story before. Now, that doesn't mean it didn't. I'm just saying I don't know anybody who knows this story. So that's either a big lie or a super over-exaggeration. But yeah, so Ferdinand, I mean, if you got nothing better to do, I'd say it's worth a watch. Maybe, possibly, but just expect to be really, really annoyed by the second half. So, that's all I have to say about that.